absolutely should come out here and tell us all about what he's been up to and what. But I haven't talked to that guy in forever.
No, I haven't talked to him in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's at Fano or Novo Fano. He's at MIT. He's still in the picture. I don't know what.
He's all over the place.
He is. He's everywhere.
He's a man of action.
Yeah.
Moving and shaking.
Okay.
You could say he was shaking.
And I would. I would absolutely say that.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey everybody, it's Thursday. Now this is our first live stream of the day. So you're going to see us later today covered in with dirtier.
Possibly.
I will, because I know
Possibly.
what I got. I know what I got going on today. So it is Thursday in the best guitar you can buy for X amount of money series. Chris, you and I talked about this like briefly this morning, but I said,
and you said you didn't want to talk about it because you wanted it to be a thing. That's what that was the impression I got.
I got to tell you.
Can I just mention one thing?
You absolutely can.
First of all, the Hustler shirt, really funny. The Hustler shirt with that mustache,
even funnier.
I looked over and I was looking at the Hustler shirt and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And then I looked up and I went, yeah, because I know the story about the shirt.
Yeah.
And but I also know what the shirt is.
We also might talk more about the shirt later tonight. I don't know.
Anyway, pretty funny.
Okay. So
you are going to get some strange looks if you go out in public today.
And I may.
At lunch.
Yeah. I think anytime I wear this shirt, I get those looks.
If you had that shirt on yesterday, that girl wouldn't have waited on us.
Oh, no, at the hamburger place?
Burger place?
No.
She would not have. No. Yeah, she would have sent somebody else over.
And
then if she had waited on us and you started talking to her, she would have walked off even faster than she did.
Yep.
All right.
I feel a lot like my good friend Doug Santaniello right now, if he had a Hustler shirt on. I mean, he has a mustache. Doug's here, so yeah. Doug has a mustache and
and a hat.
And this hat, yeah. Although my hat has some different embellishments on it than Doug's. Anyway, so okay, Chris, I got to tell you, when we first started doing this, I thought, well, the $500 one is difficult.
Yeah.
Especially when you ask the question, why would anybody be searching for a $500 guitar? Because it's in that weird price range of like, it's a little too expensive for a youngster's first guitar. And it's not quite enough guitar for someone who's been playing for a while. So I'm like, yeah, why would you do that? And then our friend Zoltan was like, here's a great reason to buy a guitar like that, because you kind of want to try it out, but you don't want to get like a really craptastic thing.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to spend a lot of money because you're not sure if you're going to like, say, a bass six or a baritone, or you're trying it out for
it's a different shape or it's a different kind of concept. And it's a lot easier to not lose your ass on the used market selling a $500 guitar.
Yeah.
You can easily get half of it.
And I thought, when we start adding money, I thought it'd get easier. And the fact of the matter is that I started out with my regular thing, Guitar Center, which is the same website as all the other guys, mostly. And I'm like, God, this is bleak. For $2,000, this is what you get. Now, I'm not suggesting there's not a bunch of really excellent guitars for $2,000. The other thing is, this was never intended to be a big ad for our guitars. But the fact of the matter is that we make guitars for under $2,000 that I think blow everything you can get at Guitar Center out the water. You know what I mean? For the same money, you cannot get a guitar at Guitar Center that's better than ours.
Yeah. We're starting to get into that American made, but it's kind of the low end American made stuff.
Yeah.
And
Well, so then I started.
So there's a bunch of compromises.
So then I started searching around, and I'm like, well, let's go see what Doug Cower has. Let's go see what Fano has. Let's go see what Novo has. Let's go see what somebody else. Let's go see on the Wildwood website. Now, not to throw shade at any of those people.
Right.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
They don't make a guitar for $2,000. So it's like some Paul Reed Smith which is probably okay, but you can't get the one that I like.
Yeah, I actually looked at PRS today. I was like, I'm just gonna, kind of fake it and look at the PRSs. And there was one that I was like, and then I went up a price range, and I was like, oh, there they all are.
Yeah.
I'll just save that for tomorrow.
Yeah, and
if
then
I decide to do that,
and then like a $2,000 Gibson. Brian was talking about some Gibsons, and I'm like, are those really the best guitar you can get for $2,000? Probably not. Those are probably a fairly decent representation of a vintage style guitar, but I don't think that Gibsons are particularly awesome. I love them, but I don't think they're like, if you had lots of guitars and they were all Gibsons, happy. But if you were, a guy who's like, I'm going to buy my first $2,000 guitar, man, I can't wait to get a Gibson. I'd be like, maybe you should save up a little more, or
you're going to love my pick then.
Okay. What do you got?
I picked the Gibson Theodore Standard.
Well, no. Okay. I realize that it's very subjective, the best guitar, but why'd you pick that?
Because I got tired of looking, and that guitar is ridiculous.
Okay.
I can't. I guess the story is that it's a design that Ted McCarty did in 1957, which makes you think that's why they hired somebody else to design all the Futura looking stuff the next year, because that guitar, that Theodore, if you want a harmony looking guitar at Gibson prices, that's the guitar for you.
Okay.
It is absolutely ridiculous. But I think they will be worth some money someday, because I can't imagine they're going to make very many of those.
Like the Gibson Victory bass. Yeah, is worth whatever.
Yeah, it's just I spent more time looking for today's category than I've looked at for anything else, and I just kind of got tired of looking.
What's surprising to me is how many Indonesian guitars cost $2,000.
I didn't. Yeah,
because I put
the price. Started looking for name. Well, this whole time I've been looking at name brand stuff, and I thought about doing the Cower thing and all of that.
There's nothing for $2,000.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything that I'm going to want.
Well, my pick is some PRS, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So let's go to the comment section.
S2.
Sure, whatever.
Blah, blah, blah,
I'm sure it's fine.
Or the Vela.
Yeah,
is that what they call that one?
I'm sure it's good.
Pick guard.
Okay, so let's go to the comment section, see what you guys have picked up, or what you guys landed on here. And
I'm more excited about my Iceman.
Frankly, Brian Duncan says Gibson SG Standard 61 Vintage Cherry. Can you get a real I didn't see that one, Brian. I don't know. You can get a 61 Vintage Cherry for $2,000, but maybe I didn't see that one. No way. Gibson Les Paul Standard 50s figured top 6. Brian, there's no way you can get a Standard for $2,000.
Yeah.
Not new.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Those were all in the next category up.
Yeah. Dan says, I'm choosing the Jackson Concept Soloist SL27ES. It's a neck through. Okay, now I think that the American-made Jacksons still represent a lot of guitar for that in that price range. But I'm kind of Dan, I think it's a great pick, by the way, but I'm a little bit bummed out about the whole Super Strat thing. Hell, we've got a Super Strat right behind Chris on sale right now. It's on the website. You can go to the website right now. I'll put that guitar up against that Jackson all day long, even though it's not neck through. Let's see. AJ of the North says, good morning, fellow guitar nerds. I do feel nerdy this week doing this. AJ of the North also says, best guitar under $2,000, PRS S2 Vela. All those PRSs, most of those PRSs in the $2,000 and lower category either have a pick guard, or the carve is that kind of angle. It's not the real carve.
Yeah, and I think there's some if I'm going to spend $2,000 on a PRS, I'm going to spend $2,500 and get the one I want. I think.
Yeah, if you're going to spend that kind of money,
that's the way it was with all the Gibson stuff that I saw. It was like, oh, there's the Les Paul that I want. It's slightly more.
Now here's a great one. Stein's Utopia, the Super Sunday Driver Maverick. Okay, Chris, would you grab the Super Sunday Driver Maverick real quick? It's right behind you.
Oh,
yeah. So guys, this one, I just put this one up, and I'm not trying to turn this into a commercial for our guitars, but since I didn't say it, Stein's Utopia said it. And so this guitar right now is one that we built in the workshop with the guys at Super Strat Workshop.
Yep.
It's awesome. It's got a USA Floyd. It's got DiMarzio pickups. It's got a mahogany neck with Hipshot tuners, rosewood fretboard, candy apple red paint. Did I say mahogany neck?
You did.
It's a really cool Super Strat.
It is, yeah.
The only reason it's under $2,000 is there's a small finish blem in it. While we were doing, you can see it, right?
It's right there.
Yeah,
covered up with a strap.
Yep. While we were assembling it, it got a finish ding. So, let's see. All right, what else you guys got here for? AJ says he's taking his S2 Vela all over the world. That's cool. Robbie F says, other than TTG guitars, thank you, Robbie. Gibson Beato double cut LP red with 2 P90s. That's probably a pretty cool one. In fact, if I was like had to spend the kind of money on, I can't imagine I could contrive a scenario where I had to make a guitar or had to buy a guitar for $2,000. I would probably buy that because I like them.
There was a Yamaha Rev Star. Was, I think pretty much top end. There was $1,000 with P90s. Almost picked that.
Yeah. Dale Gribble says Gibson Victories are awesome and some under $2,000. Yeah, those are all used guitars though. Brian says that both those guitars are on Sweetwater for $19.99. That's cool, man. I did not see that. So I think that the state of the industry is such that the really, really good stuff is $4,000. Like the really, really excellent stuff. You know what I mean? Like, because when you start spending that kind of money, do you really want something that like just anybody else can just go out and get? You know, what's personalized about it? What's unique to you? And maybe people don't want that, but I think it's a neat thing. And I would hate that, I spent 20, $500 or $3,500 or $4,500 and you show up and somebody else has exactly the same guitar as you do. Wow. Isn't that? Yeah.
It's bad enough when you have the same shirt.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why I wear this. No one else is wearing this shirt. Yeah. With this mustache. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, gang, well, do you want to do one tomorrow? I mean, I guess we kind of have to.
Yeah. It's because, really what we pick is secondary to what everybody else. I think everybody else is just having fun with this whole
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
All right. So tomorrow is going to be the best new guitar you can buy for any amount of money. How about that?
Okay.
Like spend as much as you want.
Okay.
I have no idea what I'm going to pick. It's probably going to be some guy who I know who's a friend of mine or something. And first of all, you guys got to realize though too that like I gotta say that my guitars, I love the guitars that we make, and if I could have any guitar, it would be one of those. Which is kind of why we do this. And now, Chris, let me ask you this: why don't we make guitars for $500?
Because we can't.
That's right. Because we're in business, and it costs us. Yeah.
We whittled down what we can do to the bare bones on the Challenger Level 1.
Yeah.
And
actually all the models.
Well, but I mean, that one is that's as cheap as we could make a guitar.
Yep.
And really, it shouldn't even be that cheap.
No, it shouldn't be.
Our friend Doug at Cower started a whole secondary line called Titan.
Yep.
And it didn't work. So
he
stopped doing them. He still makes that guitar under the Cower brand, but it's a nicer guitar, or it's more expensive. There we go. That's the word I wanted. I'm going to get that Terry Kath Telecaster because when I was looking at stuff, I had stuff listed from highest price to lowest price.
Yeah.
And then I erased my price category. So that was still there at the highest price.
Oh, okay.
$20,000. And I know they made a bunch.
Now, do you think that's the best guitar you can get for any amount of money?
That guitar, but I saw that and I went, they made a whole bunch of those. It's not the only one.
It'll be interesting to see tomorrow. Let's deep dive tomorrow into what the best thing that we can get is and why it's the best.
Ooh, I almost picked the BC Rich double neck because it was $2,000 and 18 strings.
It's gotta be good.
If you can't, quantity over quality, maybe. Yep. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I thought, that's not a bad buy.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, gang. Well, we'll see you later tonight for our live stream. By the way, the live stream discussion tonight, Chris, is going to be if you had to go to work for any other guitar company, who would it be and what would you want to build? Okay. So we'll see you guys at 5 tonight, and we're going to talk about that. It should be fun. See y'all then, and have a great day, everybody.